What's happening, people? Welcome to Top 4. My name is Peter, the host of Top 4 Podcast. I'm going to talk about the preview ahead of tonight's game between Southampton and Arsenal in the Premier League. Arsenal need to bounce back from that defeat against Southampton, and here's my take on the first 11. Goalkeeper, of course, it goes without saying. Bernd Leno in goal, it's a must. The man has been phenomenal this season. I think he's actually been very underrated this season simply because of so many things that have been happening at Arsenal this season. And a lot of his saves this season have saved us so many points. I know we're mid-table, 11th to be exact, but without him in goal, I don't know where Arsenal would be this season. So Bernd Leno, without a shadow of a doubt, will be in goal. Left back, I'm going to go with a 4-2-3 formation. Left back, I'm going to go with Bukayo Saka, and it might seem a bit strange to go down that route. Thing is, Kieran Tierney, I'm not too sure. I don't know what the update with him is. But Arsenal have got some bad history when it comes to bringing players in maybe before their time or rushing players back. I don't want another setback for Kieran Tierney. I'm just hoping that we get him prime, we get him ready, we get him fit. Bukayo Saka is the only player I think really that's actually played left back at Arsenal that's competent in that position as well. You could have had Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you could have had Cedric there again, but it hasn't worked out with the other two. So I'm going to go with Bukayo Saka based on history. And, you know, at least we need to have him in the side anyway. And hopefully, with the defenders I choose, it allows Saka to push a bit more further forward as well. I'm going to go with Gabriel as centre-back, along with Rob Holding. I'm going to keep those two as the pair. Look, I know they didn't have the greatest game in the FA Cup against Southampton, but I don't think it's worth dropping the pair. I think it was just a case of rustiness, getting the cobwebs out. They got 90 minutes together, and I think it is best for them to play again tonight. Just a bit of continuity in the defence. The last thing you want to keep doing is chopping and changing, the defence that often, especially the centre-backs with this goalkeeper. I want to keep those two in there. I think they're going to put in a more solid performance tonight. And it's good to just see Gabriel get some minutes from the last game. So Gabriel, Rob Holding. Rob Holding, again, another player who I think has been a bit underrated in a sense that he's actually done a good job this season. He's actually been quite competent this season. And before his injury as well, he was our best defender, really, performance-wise, under Unai Emery. So it will be good to see, again, that continuity. David Luiz, I get it. He is good. He's not a bad defender. But at the same time, I think for this game specifically, I would choose to have Gabriel and Holding. Remember, they're up against the likes of Che Adams, Danny Ings, and yeah, you want to have players that can at least recover. Right back, I'm going to go Cedric. Nothing against Bellerin. I think Bellerin's done a good job this season. In the last game, however, I noticed that Bellerin didn't get forward as much as I would have liked to. He didn't have a poor performance at all, Bellerin, but it was him being camped in his own half all game. It didn't suit him. And I feel like Cedric when Cedric last played at right back, he actually performed pretty good. He actually performed very well. I think it was against Newcastle in the league. He actually performed very well at right back, and probably that's what got him his place against Southampton, against his former club. But at left back, and I felt like it wasn't a great account for him. It felt a bit harsh for him. So I'd put him at right back tonight against Southampton, and I think we'll get a much more better performance from Cedric. It'll be good to just see him get a run out as well. There's so many games thick and fast every other week, every other day there seems to be a game. So to have Cedric at right back, I don't see it being an issue. Midfield, this is where it gets a bit sus because I've gone with a gamble here. I'm starting things off with Thomas Partey. I mean, that's not even a gamble, to be fair. Thomas Partey I'm starting off with to be in the midfield, but I'm going to put him alongside Dani Ceballos. It doesn't give you a lot of cover, but I think Arsenal need to take the game to Southampton. I think Arsenal need to go and make an impression on Southampton rather than letting Southampton have all the ball or make the impression to us. We get it. Southampton are at home. It is at St Mary's. But I think when Arsenal put their front foot forward, I think a lot of teams, they don't know what to do. They kind of panic a little bit. And Arsenal look dangerous going forward. The players are there. And I think we should actually make the most of what we have. I'd go with Dani Ceballos, Thomas Partey there in the midfield. What I will say is I think Xhaka, Xhaka I think needs a rest. There was the Southampton game in the FA Cup. He was blowing, and I felt like, this is a man who's probably played every game, this season, including, cup competition, Europa League, whatnot. So For me, I would go with Dani Ceballos and Thomas Partey in the midfield. On the left wing, it depends if Aubameyang is able to play today. We know obviously he had to leave St Mary's on Saturday due to personal reasons. It's not sure whether or not he will play tonight. If he's available tonight, he obviously is the man. He's the man you put on the left wing there for Arsenal. But if not, I'm going to bring in Gabriel Martinelli. He got a few minutes last time round. I was surprised when he got subbed. I felt like, he needed to be in the game more. The only one that seemed to be pressing high up the pitch, whilst the others didn't do so and didn't follow suit. So he looked like he was going out on his own. But I would put Gabriel Martinelli in there without a shadow of a doubt if he is fit. If Aubameyang cannot make it tonight, then I'll put Gabriel Martinelli on the left wing. Emile Smith-Rowe in the number 10. It's very simple. He's been brilliant since he's come into the team. He's been phenomenal. He's been a breath of fresh air, if you will. And I'm very, very happy to see him doing well. A player that's always been talked about at Arsenal for the last couple of years. And so to see him getting a run at the moment is really, really good. To see him working, to see him playing well, it's brilliant. And, you look at his growth so far, being rested on the weekend against Southampton to then come in today. Hopefully he comes in tonight, starting the Premier League game. It just shows his trajectory at the minute. He's been nothing but ever present since he's been in the side. He's performed very well. He's young, so there will be times in games where he's still learning, he's still adapting on the job. But it's just so good to see him, and it's without question that he should be in that number 10 role. On the right wing, this is where it got very, very techie for me, because I don't think, I personally wouldn't start Willian. Willian. It's been a hard season for him this season. 20 games, no goals, 3 assists, and those 3 I think came at the first game of the season against Fulham. So it's a difficult one for me to it's hard for me to put Willian in this team. It's very, very difficult. Nicola Pepe as well, a guy that the inconsistencies is what really drives me mad with him. It's something that he's got the talent. The talent is definitely there. And it's just getting the player we thought we were buying is been the issue. Towards the end of last season, especially in the FA Cup runs, he was performing very, very well. And I thought, okay, we're going to kick on from here. The season has started and he's been pulled in and out of the team, in fairness to him. He hasn't had a consistent run of games, but there are moments when you see him, whether he starts a game and you think, you know what, Pepe, this is the time to now really establish your place. He frustrates. When he comes off the bench, again, you sometimes think, this is why you didn't start. Then there are some games where he comes in and he scores twice and sets up a few goals as well. And you think, well, you know what, he's actually making a mark for himself here in this team. It's mentality for me with him. It's all about mentality. If his mind is there, if he's on the case, then he does well. Now, bear in mind that Lille, this is a player who played on the counter-attack. This is a player who didn't play with all the ball. So he looked a lot more dangerous when the ball was thrown in behind him, when it was over the top, whatever. When he was set on, put on the burners, he was phenomenal. He was dangerous. But right now, the dribbling isn't quite up to scratch. It's just not clean and crisp enough. It's just not consistent enough from Nicola Pepe. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go with Reiss Nelson. Gamble. Yes, it is a gamble yet again. But look, we need something fresh. We need something new sometimes. And I don't know what has happened to Reiss Nelson. I don't know why he's not in the squad. I don't know why he doesn't make the starting 11 from time to time. He isn't injured anymore. I know he was injured earlier. But I think it's time to just bring him in. It's a midweek game where you can freshen up some legs, bring in something new. And I don't see why not. I don't see why he cannot come into this side and give something different, give something new. Give him a chance, The way Emile Smith-Rowe got his chance, the way Martinelli, remember when he came into the side, when he got his chance, Saka as well. There are plenty of examples that we have where when you do give them a chance and give them a run of games, they could turn out good. It doesn't always happen, but at the same time, I don't see the danger of starting Reiss Nelson, especially with Cedric behind him. I think there's a good enough balance there in terms of moving up the field and moving back as well. I would go for it. I'm looking at Reece Nelson thinking, what's happened? Why is he not starting? Why is he not starting the games? I want to give him a shot. I want to see what he can do. He's direct. He runs quick, and none of this sideways and backward passing from him. So it'll be good to see. He may run into players. He may run and the ball go out for a goal kick or whatever. But he's attacking. He's somebody who moves forward. He asks questions of the defenders. So it will be good to see that in the midfield today, in the midfield tonight. And then up front, of course, Alex Lacazette. You know, at the minute, this man he's been a marksman this season. He's been firing goals. He's done brilliantly well. But again, another player who divides opinion at times to time, because again, very frustrating at times. He can go 10 games without scoring, but then he can go and score 9 in 10. So with that, you know, I want to give Lacazette his props. He has been our goal scorer this season. And yeah, it's only right that we put him in the starting 11, and he's been performing well of late. So just not even just on the ball, but off the ball as well, and causing defenders a bit of a headache. He seems to be a nuisance up there. So it'll be good to see Lacazette start. You go into this game, remember, in Premier League form in terms of against Southampton. We drew 1-1 at the Emirates earlier this season. We did win at St Mary's last season with a 2-0 win. It was quite a surprising victory as well, because Southampton's a tough place to go to. We've never had really the best of luck out there. I can't remember too many wins at St Mary's. It will be a tough game, but I am predicting that Arsenal will nick it in the end. I'm hoping they do. You know, we need a reaction from the FA Cup exit. Which still hurts, and it's still burning me a little bit. You know, that was our trophy. You know, it's got our name on it. It's got Emirates on it. So it was our name really on the trophy there that we should have won. But we move on to the league, and this is where, you know, the league is more of the story of a football club season, and the way the league has panned out this year is crazy. Would you believe this is a 6-pointer between Arsenal and Southampton? Southampton being in 10th place, Arsenal in 11th. Southampton 2 points ahead with a game in hand. But considering that, you know, I thought Southampton were actually having a better season. I thought they were really further up the table. To see them in 10th, I was a bit surprised. But again, you know what, a win. 2 wins can really throw you up the table, and 2 defeats can make you slide right down. So a bit of a snakes and ladders theme going on this season. That's my preview for the Southampton-Arsenal game. Premier League action, 8:15 kickoff, BT Sport. That being said, people, up the Gunners.